I'm just going to start right in. I'm not even going to welcome you to the Uncommon Professor podcast. This pisses me off so much. I keep seeing this in the media. College students are lazy. So let me tell you a story. I brought an example of how lazy they are. Let me show you something. Take a look at her. This is during the pandemic. Of course, we were on Zoom. I saw her, and the reason I saw her was there was something moving in the background. I couldn't figure it out, so I highlighted her on the screen and said, "Hey, how you doing? What's moving in the background?" "Oh, snow." "Where are you?" I'm in a truck." "You're not driving, are you?" "No, no, no, no. My boyfriend's driving. There's a blizzard here." "Where are you, if you don't mind me asking?" "I'm in the Northern Navajo Reservation." "Why in the world are you in a truck? What's going on?" "Well, the Wi-Fi in my house is out, and because of the pandemic, we're not going to get it back very soon. So my alternative is to have my boyfriend drive me around in his pickup truck. I'm sitting in the back of the truck doing school." "You- Are you kidding me?" "Really? Yeah, I can get some reception out here." That's how lazy she was. That is so baller. Just in my class alone, just in my class, that's a 16-week semester, meaning that 32 times you have to go out in your boyfriend's truck and drive around just to attend school. That's how lazy she was. And then multiply that by 5. That's astounding. I can tell that story about thousands and thousands of other students as well. You must be out of your mind, media. Do some work. Stop being lazy. All right, welcome to my podcast. Obviously, you can see this kind of stuff pisses me off really, really badly. If someone interviewed me about lazy students and they would come up with a lazy question like, "Oh, do you have any evidence that they're not lazy?" "Yeah, I do. I've been watching for the last 21 years." And this is what really, really bothers me a bunch. I've started to see this within the media, and I'm not just talking about Fox or MSNBC or CNN. My dog just barked. That's awesome. I'm talking about alternative medias as well, like the Tucker Carlsons, Ben Shapiro's, the other side of that. What's that kid's name? Trinity, Destiny. I kind of like to go all over the place. And also, I don't like to spend too much time with it either. It's not a secret that I'm not a big fan of media at all, any of it. Just for me, if I get right down to it, I look at media and I'm like, you know what your job really is when it comes down to it? To sell adult diapers and big pharma. That's what you're doing. And it seems to me that you're almost willing to say anything to do that. What's the best way to sell adult diapers and pharma? But let me get to this. This is what I've been hearing lately. Don't go to college. Don't go. And you hear that from someone like Tucker Carlson. I like him just fine. He's interesting. He's doing the same thing for money. But Tucker, you're telling people don't go to college. Oh, that's interesting, Scooter, because your daughters are in college. So, and Shapiro does the same thing. College is worthless. Don't go. So your daughters are going to be plumbers. Actually, that might be a really, really good choice. That is a great living, a great life. So I came across this thing, or maybe it came across me, and it was pretty interesting. There's a show called Tulsa with Sylvester Stallone, and I've never seen it. I just can't buy too many TV subscriptions. So maybe it's really good. I'll probably never see it. But he has a little speech about college, and it's a base level speech, basically an argument why to go to college. Let me see if I can read it to you word for word. No, I don't have a Sylvester Stallone imitation. I can't do imitations. But here's what he says. You think anyone really cares about what your major is? English lit, biology, whatever? The whole point of a college degree is to show a potential employer that you showed up someplace 4 years in a row, completed a series of tasks reasonably well and on time. So if they hire you, there's a semi decent chance that you'll show up every day and not fuck up their business. Now, that's a reason to go to college. So, do I agree with that? Kind of, yeah. It's a reason to go to college. But there's a lot of other things that you're showing an employer. For instance, you're going to demonstrate dedication. That's what it means when you finish college. You were willing to meet challenges head on, even unfair ones. I've had that happen with my kids where they thought something was super unfair in college, and I agreed with them. However, they met the challenge head on. They learned something from it. And it shows a willingness to learn. You learned something in the past, so there's a pretty good chance you're going to learn something in the future. But why is it the media picks on your college student? This is just my opinion. Now, first of all, I think it's lazy. But this is a formula that I've noticed the last couple of years, not the last couple, a long time. One of the things that the media does is they have a formula, and part of the formula is go and find deviants in society. Now, I'm not talking sexual deviants. I'm just saying anyone that deviates from any norm. Once you find that deviance, represent it as the norm. So it's pretty damn easy to go to any college campus in this country. Go find the deviant opinion and then represent that as a norm and then say, well, every college student is like that. That happens so often. It pisses me off. I'm going to tell you from my experience, my evidence, if you're asking me for evidence, sorry, not true. Most students are unbelievable. And I don't have to say that. I'm not saying that to curry favor with anyone, with my students. I've seen it. It's astounding. Uh, There's a kid a couple of classes ago, um, just a great student, started the AI club at our business school. Just thought of it one day. Boom, did it. Most of them are like that. Now, here's what ends up happening. Just my opinion. Every generation loves to complain about the generation coming after them. I have a bunch of friends, good friends. And when they find out what I do, literally the first question they ask is, are these kids a bunch of little shits? Well, why wouldn't they ask that question? That's what all media is telling them. And I'm like, look, kind of sorry to disappoint you. The future's good. These kids are amazing. So, what I always think of is when one generation basically complains about the next. I mean, the generation before me did it. Our generation was a bunch of slackers, bunch of hippies. We're all smoking dope all day. And a lot of that was true, but we figured it out. So I can go complain about the next generation, but I'm sorry. My opinion's this. If I'm pissed off at the next generation for one reason, it's not about them, it's about me. I even tell them this in class when hundreds of students are sitting in front of us. Do you know why the generation now complains about you? They're not going to tell you, but I'll tell you. It's because we are insanely jealous of you. The opportunities that you're going to have in your lifetime, the hard work that you're showing, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm insanely jealous. There are so many kids. I shouldn't. You tell me in the comments, should I call them kids? I call them kids because I'm old. But there's so many kids in my class right now that are working full time. So many kids that have already started business. It's amazing. So the media, basically, hey, let's pile on this. It gets clicks. And I get it. You got to get clicks. You got to get money. You got to get revenue. You got to sell adult diapers. You got to sell big pharma. That's what you're doing. So there's a novelty of going on a college campus. It's always pretty much a hit. The other one is there's relevance. College students represent a significant demographic in society, and they think their actions often reflect broader societal trends or issues. That's fine. Cool. They often have controversy. Go attack some professor. And God, I hate this when this happens. I've seen they're not reporters. They don't have press passes. They'll find some, and this happens a couple of times at the school I worked at. This was so unfair. Just basically guys walking to work. Couple of guys in black shirts come out. All of a sudden, they're asking him questions like, "Hey, dude, I'm eating my breakfast." No, no, no. What about when you said blah, 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 blah? Are you a student? No, no. I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. You're making content. You're making content so you can put it on the YouTubes. Now, look, do I agree with whatever every professor says? I don't agree with, there's not a person in my life that I agree with 100% all the time. So, look, I think that's a part of the dark side of social media and trying to get a viral video. You're willing to stomp on someone else's rights. And you think, me, well, I work at a public university, therefore I'm a public figure. Therefore, when I'm walking to school at 7 a.m., it wasn't me, it was somebody else. You're allowed to just buffalo me and put a camera in my face and have a big guy right next to me. So the media hates your kid for a reason. And the reason is simply to sell commercials for adult diapers and big pharma. Oh, wow. I got that off my chest. I feel so much better. It's kind of early in the morning. So, what do you think? Tell me in the comments. I love the questions you're giving me in the comments. This is growing a little faster than no, I'm wrong. A lot faster than I thought it would. Um, and I say a lot. Oh my goodness. I probably just edited that out and you didn't hear all the ums I said because I do say it a lot. Other than that, thanks for coming by. Peace. The hell is that? Why did balloons go?